preview tracks you've put out on SoundCloud, especially If Angels Cry, are much more aggressive than anything on the first album. Is this indicative of how the Shattered album will sound?
Yeah, it's a lot more aggressive. You mentioned the song If Angels Cry.
Mm-hmm.
If Angels Cry was written because I was sitting in my bathroom one day and I was about to end my life, and I had a knife, literally a knife in my hand, and I happened to look on my sink and there was a pad of paper of supplies that I was going to use to clean my bathroom that I had to go out and buy, and I started scribbling. Every song I've ever written has been written while I was in a shower. I don't know why, I can't explain it. But
some people think you're on a shitter in the shower.
But it was, what would it feel like? That's why the intro of the song is Taps, because for me that would be the last thing I ever heard if I was buried, would be Taps. And we start out with that. Tonight we're not playing it, but we start out with that to where it's basically what it would feel like to actually embrace the fact if I was going to die slowly, and are there really angels? Would they cry? Would they weep upon the death of another child? Because in my opinion, and this is nothing against anyone who has religious beliefs, but my opinion of God, or whatever God is currently, I still am not on very good speaking terms with him, because of the fact is I can't understand, according to biblical terms, how he would let someone go through that. The only justification I can get out of any of that is the fact of I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today had I not gone through that.
True.
So I'm trying to find a justification, and that was my justification through that song is, if I died, would angels cry because I couldn't pass on my message? Or would I just sit there and would I embrace the coldness as that warmth left my body? It's a contradiction of terms.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. The subject matter of the lyrics is very personal, and your inspiration not only from the darker recesses of your psyche and social criticism, but also childhood trauma. Why is the decision to be so brutally honest in your lyrics? Do you ever feel like some things should be held back, or is there never a choice in the matter?
There's never a choice in the matter. As a musician,
or any kind of artist, you have to be brutally honest. I mean, that's all there is to it. You can't. If you hold back, then you're half faking.
I don't hold back anything. I don't write music for the fact of, or write lyrics for the fact of writing lyrics. Oh, this sounds popular today. Let's see what's going on. Let's open up the newspaper and say, you know what? My life is an open book, and when people see that your life is an open book, I have nothing to hide anymore. I used to have a lot to hide. I don't have anything to hide, and if I start to go revert back to that, keeping things behind closed doors, then that puts me right back to where I was. That makes me no worse than the people that are hiding it out there for other people, because then I'm not being true to myself by hiding it from myself. Should certain things stay behind closed doors? In my opinion, when it comes to the matters of this nature, no. Someone needs to stand up. Someone needs to say we've had enough. Did anyone tell? And I draw a lot of inspiration off Rage Against the Machine. Did anyone tell them, you know, do you think you should hold back a little bit because you might draw scrutiny from Congress? Did anyone tell?
I'm sure someone did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure someone did, but did it stop? Did it stop them?
Of course not.
Did it stop the millions plus that marched on Wall Street and Oakland and everywhere else? It's one of those things that Shakespeare said it best, to thine own self be true. And even though that's from a play that was written for entertainment purposes, it still holds true with me, to the fact of I can't hide behind it. I've hidden behind it for 25 years, and it's destroyed my life. It's destroyed relationships. It's destroyed the fact it makes it hard to be around my daughter, because I still have that part of my father in me that scares me.
Right.
I've destroyed relationships with other bands because of that fact, because I was afraid to be who I really was, because I thought I had to be what they wanted me to be. I refuse to be that way anymore. And if you like me, you do, and if you don't, I apologize. I could be one of the nicest guys in the world, but I'll just apologize for what you're going to miss out on, because I guarantee you I'll give you the shirt off my back.
Now, Souless Affection's music could be put in the category of dark electro or harsh EBM. However, the band could be branded future pop, and very melodic tracks like Salvation and Fires of the Shore add to the depth of the band. I know you've said in the past that you'd like to write more in this style in the future. Is this something we'll see rather soon, or are you saving that for later down the line?
As far as as far as the future pop, you know, you could categorize this. It doesn't matter what category you put us in. You can put us in dark electro. You can put us in agrotech. You can put us in emo, because I'm just a kid up there screaming about what my daddy did to me. And some people would say, "Oh, grow up and get over it." You know what? It's music.
Either way, it'll get played in the goth club anyway. So
I want something, and to put out something, and it doesn't matter. I would like. I have a voice that. Dave Gahan is one of my biggest inspirations. The guy there, and everything that man has ever touched has turned to gold. Favorite bands of mine are like Zeromancer. I grew up around that stuff. I remember being a kid listening to Depeche Mode, sitting in my sister's room. And I'm gonna put this out to the whole world, that I was braiding My Little Pony hair with my sister while I was listening to Depeche Mode, because she had this big massive collection. I was a little kid,
right?
And those are my fondest memories, because it was those inspirations. And yeah, there's going to be, as far as Souless Affection will be that will be that Mr. Hyde of me. And we're working on some other stuff right now that I guess will be the little more Jekyll, a little bit more calmed down, a little bit more in tune with, like, okay, I've had my chance to be angry with the world. Now it's time to, I've opened some old wounds. I've opened some wounds for other people that didn't. I have to take the responsibility for the fact that there are wounds out there, that my mother's personal business, my father's personal business, everyone in my family is out there now. And as much as they respect what I'm doing, I also have the obligation to not only the fans and the kids out there, but to my family and my daughter, to say, okay, you know what? I've lashed out. I've undone the wrong, but now it's, what do I do to make the wrong right? I have a responsibility to not put a Band-Aid on, but to show everyone, okay, this is what you're feeling. Now let's fix it. How do we fix it?
Right. In addition to Souless Affection, you're also involved in Don't Mess with Industrial Productions and have released the Don't Mess with Industrial compilation and the debut EP from Virus Filter. How did you get the idea for the label?
Texas has a saying, you know, don't mess with Texas. Same thing with industrial, whether you like synth pop, goth, and in standard industrial, your frontline assemblies, your Zeromancers, your Hosicos, you know, no matter who you like, don't mess with it. Leave it alone. Leave us alone. For once in our lives, let us lead our lives. You point and laugh, and you know, it's been a catchphrase of everyone. You point and laugh because I look different. I point and laugh because you all look the same. You guys are going to grow up and run this country. That's fine. Grow up, run the country, do whatever you want to do with it. I'm going to continue to do what I do and flip you the middle finger and say, you know what, I'm down here. I'm the silent majority that's not going to be silent anymore. Virus Filter, another great band. Those are great out of the RGV, which stands for the Rio Grande Valley. The guys from BTK. It just turned into a monster, and I wouldn't be here without the support of my wife, who pushed me to do this. And she saw better things in me than I saw in myself. And I just wanted to put something out there that was for Texas by Texas, because we all know in this scene, unless you're from LA, New York, Chicago, or Georgia, not a lot of people pay a lot of attention, or even Mexico.
Right.
This music in the United States is not, it's not mainstream. It's not like it is in Europe. It's not like it is in Canada. It's not top 40. It's not something that you can slap a bubblegum sticker on and say, oh, we can market this to everybody. Oh, here you go, you know, land of the lollipop kids. It's just not going to work.
Right.
You can't do that. It's abrasive, it's aggressive, it's everything that people don't give into. whether it's their sexuality, whether it's their inner demons, whether it's their whatever demons they have. It's those things that they choose to keep in the closet that we choose not to, and we find solace in the fact that we can gather with others that share that same open-mindedness.
Right. So how different is it being in a band versus the day-to-day headaches of running a label?
Wow. There used to be a line between that.
Right.
There is no more line, because a lot of the stuff doing right now does involve bands with Don't Mess With Industrial, whether it's my band Souless Affection, whether it's BTK, whether it's Virus Filter, whether it's Cyclic Vendetta from Dallas. I get involved every which way. So whether I'm playing, I'm not going to lie, it can be a headache, because of the fact is when you get involved with the label, people want something to do with you in some way, shape, or form. Hey, can you please send me a CD or a copy of it, you know?
Right.
So I go to work. I work for it's sad to say I work for a major bank, but I turn around, I sit in front of a computer for 8 hours a day, and then I come home and have to do it. And now it's gotten to the point where we've made Don't Mess With Industrial more of a co-op, to where each band has their own little part. So if one band succeeds, we all succeed. If the label succeeds, we all succeed. So if every person has their part, like this gentleman walking by right here, Chris, he does all the promotions and stuff like that. He puts these shows together. That's his part. When he succeeds, we all succeed, and that's just what we want it to be. We want it to be a label that's run by the bands, not the band makes an album and it gets shelved until the label has time for it. If an album doesn't get released, it's because you didn't get your mastering done, or you didn't get something to me in time. It holds each band accountable.
Right. That seems like a pretty solid way to run a label.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
It's hard starting it from scratch with your own finances. And we're broke as it is to begin with, because we pay for all of our own gear. We don't have sponsorship, and we're not, I mean, I love them to death, but, we are not Distorted Memory. We are not Klaus, with Leather Strip. We are not Angels on Acid. We are not FLA or Ministry or any of those guys. And those guys paid their dues the right way. We're still paying our dues. So trying to do that, I hate to use the Metallica syndrome, but the only way we can do it is to get out on the road and show who we are, and get on the net and make it known of who we are, and just networking, like through COMA, through Engraved Ritual, through Brutal Resonant. The reception we've gotten from you guys, especially with the Don't Mess With Industrial, was amazing. I in my wildest years, I never would have thought that something like that would have reached as many people as it already has. I think the reason that I'm so proud of it is it's something that I can say, I can leave my daughter and say, you know what, I can leave the world and leave my daughter and say, you know what, your dad may have dressed in black and been messed up in the head completely.
Sure.
But he left an impression on this world. Whether some people thought that impression was good or bad, he left an impression on this world because he let it all hang out there. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to get the other bands to realize, Chris, everyone, let it all hang out there. The worst that could happen for letting yourself hang out there is someone could make fun of you. And being 33 years old, that's nothing that I haven't already gone through, or any of us haven't gone through before.
Right. All right, and to close this out, who are you looking most forward to seeing on this festival?
I'm going to be honest with you, and this is I told Chris when he put this together, I was like, I want to go on before Distorted Memory. I want to. Distorted Memory has just been a driving force, because Jeremy and I were talking, and he explained it to me, because he likes our music, that we'll be that type of band that's always going to be an underground band, like Distorted Memory is. They have their followers, and they're big enough, but they're still underground to the point where it's their followers and the people that follow them are loyal. They know everything. I could tell you what album they wrote on what day, what the song was about, if they did any side projects in the meantime, and I have a little brother, Jesse, back home in Minnesota. It's the same way. This kid has catalogs and catalogs and catalogs of music, and he could tell you what side project you did, exactly what year and what day you wrote this song and released it. And you can't buy that. You can't sell that.
Yeah. That's something half the artists can't even remember.
Exactly. I remember every show I play. I stay sober at every show for a lot of reasons. Mainly for the fact is I remember going to shows and I remember talking to bands and them being like, "Oh yeah, do you remember me?" And we talk like, "Oh yeah," and they'll turn around and go back to talking to whoever they were talking to. The greatest feeling I ever had is I went to an MSI show. And I had a left-right CD. So you have all these little teeny boppers and kids and stuff like that. Hey, sign MSI, sign the new album,
Right.
This, that, and the other thing. And I hand him a left-right CD, and Jimmy looks at me and he's just like you have this, like you have this album. This took us 3 days to write, and it has 24 tracks on it, and you have this. And he was just the look on his face was like, I can't believe you have this, that everyone's here for us, but you're asking for the left-right CD to get signed. And that's a feeling that I want to leave people with, is just, I'm going to remember who you are. Send me an email. I put it out there when I did that interview with Jason. Leave it out there. I just want to leave everyone with that, the fact that, I will remember who you are. My name is out there. You can call me anytime. My phone number's on one of the interviews that Jason with Engraved Ritual did. You can get it from him. Other than that, y'all stay good out there. I don't know really what else to say, but you know what? This Souless Affection out from COMA.